Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Sunday, the 7th of December, 2025. Starting off with the synoptic midnight last night, see this series of approaching conclusions working its way in from the west, and that's associated with these two fairly deep lows out south of Greenland there. By midday today, not a great deal of movement on those depressions, but that occlusion that was closest to us has moved in over the mainland UK, and stemming from it, a split with this warm front, typical warm sector, and a cold front following up behind it. That is bringing today, as you can imagine, very low cloud, wet, windy weather, and that'll be followed up by the cold front later on today. We can see our isobars relatively close together, leading to a fairly brisk wind. I look for the next few days in the aftermath of this tomorrow. Considerable trough coming in from the west as well, but it should be more flyable tomorrow as this low here begins to work its way up towards us as well. Into Tuesday, and more frontal activity with that low now centered sort of south of the Faroes, so west of the Faroes, and quite deep indeed, 957. And hopefully a bit of respite into Wednesday, but it's not a particularly optimistic outlook for the rest of the week. Back to today, we can see absolutely solid cloud low across almost all of the country, certainly the western side, southwest particularly, and that's not expected to change much today. You can see on the rain radar, we're getting towards the end of this sort of band here, but more out to the west with that cold front there, which will no doubt get later in the day. Looking at the Met Office prediction, we can just run that through quickly. You can see that area of just very, very damp air continuing all throughout today. So some sort of light drizzle, if not established rain, and that's going to carry on probably until about 3 o'clock when that will clear, but still expecting low cloud at that stage. The METAR from Odium, their observation this morning was 150 degrees 9 knots, southeasterly wind, visibility greater than 10, but light rain overcast at 500 feet, and the temperature and dew point both 10 there. Farnborough, they have a bit slow this morning, but they've now released their TAF. Fairly long, so we'll abbreviate that, but southeasterly wind, 4 knots, visibility greater than 10, scattered at 800 feet, with a tempo between 9 and 5 of 6,000 meters, rain and drizzle, broken at 500 feet, a prop 40 until lunchtime today, 3,500 meter visibility with drizzle, heavy rain and broken at 200 feet. It's showing it coming around to a southwesterly wind or southwesterly wind about 13 knots. And there's also a prop 40 of this afternoon into early evening of 230, 16 gusting 30. So those are those gusts that I was talking about just a moment ago. Carrying on, tempo between 1 and 3 of 4,000 meters viz, drizzle and broken at 400 feet, and that's continuing throughout the day. So the synopsis of that is it's going to be very, very nasty all day, low cloud and rain heavy at times. Just a slightly different view in the synoptic here, change from normal, looking at the form 215 from the Met Office. You can see we're in area B in what will be B1, and that's the longest section here, showing lots of rain and drizzle with some heavy rain in B1 as that approaches us, just leading that more cold front, and lots of rain with occasional hill fog and low cloud throughout today. Windy, you can see that southwesterly flow across the airfield by about midday, and speeds increasing up towards 15, 16 knots, gusting in excess of 30 with poor visibility and rain throughout as well. Temperature possibly up to 12 or 13 degrees today, with a dew point once again of 12, which is no surprise considering the weather outside. And locally we're now at 10.5 degrees, so it's very mild today. That's the webcam on the south side. Looking to the west, you can see very little to discuss there. It speaks for itself. And the cross section there from sky sight, really just emphasizing the low cloud base and rain throughout today. We'll skip any more weather. I think that's fairly fairly cut and dry. Onto NOTAMs, nothing to concern us, particularly with that forecast. So to the local briefing, we've got nothing to report today as far as movements are concerned. And in summary, we've got general situation, low pressure dominating, really intense frontal activity throughout the day, and low cloud, rain, gusty winds increasing into the afternoon. Simulator is available all day, as is the lecture room for any theory, if anyone happens to be around, and the day is scrubbed. That's all from me this morning. Sure, we'll see you in the clubhouse if we're around shortly. And let's hope for better weather on the horizon. Thank you very much.